Hey y'all, welcome back to In the Chat with Kat. I am your girl. So we just left TikTok. TikTok was a little exciting tonight. I make sure to post that highlight on my page In the Chat with Kat. But for those of you guys joining me tonight, I can't wait to get into tonight's topic. It's basically about the dynamics of friendship. We're not even going to get into that intimate space or but just a platonic relationship, woman and woman friends, and man friends, and like how those boundaries are affected, more so how the dynamic of the relationship is built and experienced from both ends. Because one thing we do know about relationships, and I feel like we're all kind of learning this, is like you are two versions in a relationship. One of those things is experiencing your partner, and the other one is possessing your partner. So in the capacity of truly understanding your dynamic, you'll know what side you're on when it comes to your partner. Now, the irony is, y'all, I've gotten back into my show, The Shy. I kind of got away from The Shy, more so because it is hard for me. I like to binge a show. I do not like to wait week to week. Like, waiting week to week kills it for me. It kills the vibe for me. I like to just watch the whole show and be done with the season. And so that's something that I've been watching The Shy. And what I love about The Shy is when it comes to our community, they really, Lena White takes her time exploring those entire spaces, from co-parenting to being the second wife to being with a person and y'all both have kids but y'all don't have kids together, to having your first child, to experiencing loss, and then experiencing love and loss, or experiencing grief of a partner, and not because you guys broke up, but because they are no longer here. And then I like that The Shy explores the dynamic of family. We see on The Shy, like, they explore that whole space of family. And like, one of the things that really stood out to me is that it takes a while for them to like cut people off. And I feel like that's me. Like, I feel like I don't just cut people off. I give the benefit of the doubt a lot. Probably more than I should, but I give the benefit of the doubt a lot. And it's more so because I really try to be realistic about things, like not just myself, but just people, their experiences, all of those good things. I try my best to be super realistic about like why a person would do something or what made that person think that was okay. Even looking into the background of like their family, their upbringing, what their core values were taught to be, what they stand for as a person when it comes to like loyalty, even gathering information from them directly. Like, I ask people, what's your definition of respect? Like, what is your definition of loyalty? Because, we have to stop assuming that what you think is loyal, what you think is love, what you think is respect, what you think is honor, the other person sitting across from you does too. They may have been raised in a space where, loyalty isn't the same. And I think it was 21 Savage. It was one rapper that brought this up, which I totally agree with. But his thing was, rappers rap about loyalty all day long, but they are the number one cheaters. Like, how dare you sit here and talk about your man's need to be loyal to you, but you're not even loyal to your woman. And I seen, I guess, I'm not sure if this was a podcast or not, but I seen something where it was two men talking, and I feel like it was Shannon Sharp or maybe Steve Harvey's show. But the man was basically like, he doesn't do business with men that cheat on their spouse. Because I can't trust you. If the person that you lay down with, the person that you made plans with, you've created a life with, you probably even shared life with, can't trust you or shouldn't trust you, why would I go into business with you? Why would you honor my relationship more than that one? And people literally sat online acting like they didn't get it. People literally was sitting there like, what's the problem with that? Like, people are crazy. But I know you guys have been, if you haven't, maybe you're living under a rock, keeping up with this Carmelo Anthony situation. It's the track meet situation. And it's a lot. It's a lot, I feel like, that they're trying to bait us on as far as possible. Like, we hear this all the time from conspiracy theorists. I don't know how much of it is true anymore because it's so much going on, y'all. Like, it is so much going on that it's just so hard to imagine or want to think that our government is trying to incite a race war. But it's plausible. It's very possible. It's believable. We've seen it happen before. You know, and one of my friends, he made a statement, and I can't lie, I agree with him to a degree. Because I also posted, you got one time to be acting like a house, you know what? And I am blocking you. Because it's only us that try to find that benefit of the doubt for the opposing side to continue to harm our children. Just watched a movie last night, One Spoon of Chocolate. I think it's, One Spoon of Chocolate. Directed by and written, I think, by RZA and executive produced with Quentin Tarantino. I could not watch that movie in the state that I'm in. If you guys want, you definitely, it's in movie theaters. It should be in movie theaters everywhere still. It's a really good movie. Like, it's not low budget at all. Star-studded cast. It's enjoyable, but considering all things, it's just hard to watch. You know, we've also had the situation that happened with the other kid and the water bottles with that. Didn't even take anything, but his life is gone forever. Reminds us so much of Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice. Like, the list goes on and on because they keep adding. And it's like, it's only a matter of time before it's somebody that you know personally. And as I was speaking about the Chi, I think this epiphany just came to me. I think that was probably another reason other than, like, I'm a binge-worthy person. I think another reason why I kind of, like, fell off is because it'd be so sad. Like, you're losing people. That is sad. Like, it's sad to, when you get online, you're seeing innocent black kids killed, dead, and people are trying to justify shooting a child behind water bottles. And the craziest thing is he didn't even take it. Carmelo Anthony situation at the track meet. Trying to protect himself from the rain. On a weather break. I was a track manager, so I'm familiar with what a weather break is. That means it's raining. So we cannot allow the children to do anything. But it's not raining hard. We're just trying to see what direction the weather is going in before we continue with the meet. He's at a school event. He's in high school. He's made it this far. Let me just go under this tent and shelter myself. Now, he's looking at possible jail time for just trying to shelter himself at a track meet. And I don't know how much literal that can be. Crazy. It's crazy. But this is our reality. And a lot of people believe, and they have reason to, that it's being incited by the government. And it's like, this is literally like, I feel like since probably Obama's second term, we've been reliving the same chapter. Every year, a black kid dies unarmed by police or some type of civilian that thinks that they were trying to steal something, take something, and they were not. They're trying to, like, we talking about people trying to play police themselves but won't even go down there and help the police themselves. Then an Asian man get online and he's like, I dare you, black people, to stop supporting our businesses. And what's crazy is that's really not hard, y'all. Even my hair vendor is Indian. No, I don't go through no Asian person for my hair. Like, you do not have to buy Asian hair. You do not have to go in a beauty supply. Even today, I wanted some lashes. I didn't want to go in Sally like that, but guess where I went? In Sally. Because, and like, I remember the girl at Sally, because they didn't even have none. So I like, look, I'm missing lashes on the end because they didn't have them. But I said, I just got to figure it out. And she said, what's next door is a beauty supply. I said, I intentionally did not go in there. She said, I understand. I intentionally did not go in there because what I look like supporting a group that's okay with taking our men and our children and affecting our women. Like, yeah, they all smiles and games when they're in our faces kikiing. But the reality of it is no one really supports us when it's our time of need. But the irony too is when they in need, they have no problem asking, where are the black people? Like, it's crazy out here. Let's see what that did. So that's one of the things I feel like bothers me most. Is that it's like we keep living this cycle of they pick on every culture, save the best for last, being black people. And then after they pick on every culture, they head to the black people. And depending on how unbothered we are about a situation, because that's the thing that breaks my heart the most with us, is we be so quick to throw ourselves under the bus. Hey, Brother Marv. We be so quick to throw ourselves under the bus. I've seen so many coons in the comments talking about, yeah, he did it because he didn't have to do this. Shut up. Like, you're not a lawyer. You don't have any of the information of the case. Like, shut up. You're the reason why. Like, I feel like this is why they laugh in our face. Because they know in the mental capacity, we don't have the unity we need. Coons be out here just talking freely. Making it easy for them to think it's okay to say what they want to say. And that's why I was saying, if you haven't seen One Spoon of Chocolate, go see it. And you'll see why I did not have the capacity to watch that movie straight through. It was just not in me. I'm just not set up like that because I know how I already feel. And I was already feeling like just the little that I did watch was going to make me really like... really be like, yeah, I can't deal with them this week. Like, on some other stuff. Like, come on now. But to each his own. Everybody's capacity is different. As promised, we did say that we were going to get into the dynamic of friendships amongst same-sex. You know, why is it so easy for people, like women or men, to forgive intimate relationships but not platonic ones? Like, I've had this conversation earlier in a group chat, and a lot of the women are just like gun-ho. Like, when they fall out with a homegirl, like, it's up and it's stuck. Like, ain't no coming back. She did not respect my boundaries, so I'm good on her. But we'll see in some situations, women with that mindset will give a man multiple opportunities to hurt them. Like, we see this all the time. And it'd be one of those things where it's just like, How are we deciding that? I just want to know, like, I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I just want to know personally, like, how do you decide that? Because me, I give anybody in my life, like, I try to be super understanding. I've recently cut off of one friend. We've been friends since 2009. I want to say I met him, maybe 2011, but I feel like it was 2009. When I met New Orleans, I moved to New Orleans. He was someone that I ended up working with, and like I enjoyed our relationship. I grew a space of understanding of who he was very early. I knew he was not reliable. And I do know too that some situations, some people need friends that are reliable and dependable. And for me, I guess that is something that showed up later in life. Like, I think early in life, I had things figured out more. So I didn't really need a reliable friend. So our dynamic didn't really require that of him for me. But as time passed and I kept showing up for him, I guess it turned into one of those things where it was just like, okay, now it's kind of feeling one-sided. But like I said, I'm a forgiving person. So even though it was feeling one-sided, I still took it like with a grain of salt. Like, it was ups with this relationship too. And this was not a sexual or intimate relationship at all. This is like strictly like, I look at him like my brother. And he's the same to me. And so it became trying when, I guess, people around me kind of started to see things different. And, like in friendship, you can love your friend so much that when you see them around a friend, or maybe it's a group of friends or a particular person, and you just feel like, that's not a good relationship for you. And that's kind of what was happening with me. So my friends, it was kind of like one of those things where their thing was, that's just not a good relationship for you. Like, it's not. This person is not reliable. They leave you high and dry when you least expect it. And at some point, you kind of got to back away from them so they can really grow. And so the last situation that happened, and we in a chat, so I put y'all in my business. He hit me up basically on he needed a job. And I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. And it wasn't directly he needed a job. He wasn't telling me he needed a job, but it was more so he was talking about his current position and that he just needed more. And I'm like, okay, well, my job is literally like a position just opened up because the guy I was working with, my coworker that works adjacent to me in the office, he was moving to a whole nother job. And so his last day was June 1st. So this was about 2 weeks ago. So he's telling me this, and I'm like, okay, well, I ain't gonna lie. This is why it's my fault. I was skeptical, but it seemed like so much time has passed. Because me and this guy, like I said, we've been friends since 2009. So we've witnessed each other grow a lot. Like, we went from our 20s, 30s, and I think he's already in his 40s. So for us, it's like, I was assuming, which they tell you should not, but I did assume that, he has grown. And so he would not mess up this opportunity. Ironically, he basically did the application, but that was a situation too. I should have known then in that space of, he begged me for the information. I finally sent the information and he took his time doing it. He had every excuse under the sun. And I knew then, like, I was starting to feel it then, but he had already submitted and I had already told my boss about him. So I was like, I just hope it works out. So fast forward, I'm like, because like I told you, he was blowing me up after he did the application. Now he's back to blowing me up, saying like, did you tell your boss this? Like, so this is what really irks me. Is like, now I'm like hitting my boss up like, hey, he said he did his application, he's ready, I'm on the phone because he calls me that morning when I'm walking into work. And I'm on the phone with him, and like my manager calls him, and he's like, hey, I was calling to set up your interview or whatever. He was like, what time would you like? 10 or 11. And he instantly says 10. And I was like, you should have said 11 or whatever, because I'm on his other phone. So he goes with the 10. And I'm just like, I don't really know about that, because at this point he had a lot going on that I was aware of or whatever, but I wasn't fully aware of everything he has going on. I'm still not. But it was just one of those things where I was just aware that he had a lot going on. So with that being said, he then has an interview for the next day at 10. My manager, I wasn't even thinking about it, but he walked up. He was like, hey, have you talked to Chris? And I'm like, no. And he's like, okay. So fast forward. 10 happens, 10:30 happens, 11 happens, 11:30 happens, 12 happens, 12:30 happens. And then 1 o'clock, I finally hear from him saying that he emailed my boss or whatever. Like, that was literally all he sent me. It's like, I emailed him. Like, that was just straw for me. For a number of reasons. But the main one was not only was my name on his application, but the person that got me the job name was on the application. So it's like, yeah, I've stick my neck out here so much for you, kid. And for you to not even have the decency to call me, one, but you gonna shoot me a text, like, that's a coward to me. That's a coward. Because a real man and a real person that has love for a person and respect for them, they would call that person and be like, hey, it ain't even about making excuses, but this is what happened, and I'm sorry. Like, my apologies. Not no dry ass message saying this and a third. And so that's why I was saying, like, with today's topic, I give my friends a lot of space for error and to explain situations that may hurt me. Because at the end of the day, like, I think that's another thing with me. Before I cut off a friend, it's the capacity for them to understand if that hurt me or not. Like, can they truly understand, like, okay, that was probably hurtful towards her? Because she don't, and I love that about me and my best friend Kamisha, because she truly understands me. And it's like, she knows when something bothers me, just as I know when something bothers her. She knows when, you know, she needs to be direct with me. She knows when she probably needs to be a little timid. She knows me. And like, it has taken us time to get to this space. But what I love about our friendship is that we are not afraid to have the tough conversations. And I think, you know, just creating that dynamic in the relationship that I'm talking about, where there is forgiveness, where there is understanding, where there is compassion, where there is that love and that respect. And even when it doesn't feel like it's there because of some type of misunderstanding, there's always that, what's the word? It's always that, it's like that assurance that I can talk to this person. So yeah, this happened, but I know I can talk to this person. I know if I go let them know X, Y, and Z, like, or this bothered me, or I didn't really like how that happened, that this person, because they are self-aware, they will take that situation and make me feel validated in some way, and also allow me to validate them in what they feel, and then we can come to some type of reasoning and be on one accord, and it's like nothing happened to the friendship. So in the group chat earlier, one of my homegirls, her thing was the friend that she cut off would not respect her boundaries. I'm assuming it was something with her partner. Like, I don't think it was no cheating or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure it's just like, and this is why too, like, that phrase, a girl's girl, like, to me, it's kind of like hit or miss, because a girl's girl has to be birthed and raised by a girl's girl, which means a woman. Like, If you are a woman that thinks it's okay to basically mess with married men, mess with men that's in relationship, talk to people that are in relationship, you move sneaky behind your friends' back, you flirt with their partners, you're just not a girl's girl. You talk about, like, not even on no, like, messing with your friend's man, but you're one of those girls that's in a group, like, it's a clique of y'all, like, say it's 3 of y'all, and, like, one person confides me about something, so you take the information back to the next person. Like, you're one of those people. You're not a girl's girl. You're not a woman. So that is the first thing you have to address in the dynamic is, are you really just expecting too much from this person? Because that could be what it is. You could be literally just expecting too much from this person. Like, literally. And then in a situation like with the girl thing, like in the whole man thing or not respecting each other's boundaries, like I feel like I've had that experience too. Where, and like I am keen on that. Like I am a girl's girl in my opinion. So like for instance, like at one point I was going to Dallas to do hair. And I was doing hair at my best friend's house. And at the time her boyfriend was coming in and out or whatever. And mind you, I'm doing hair, so my clients. So one of the things that I was keen on with my clients is just make sure you come appropriate, because my best friend man is here. Pretty much. Like, whether this was his home at the time or not, I don't need anybody coming here disrespecting his space for her and him and me. So I don't even play that. So that is the capacity of like knowing who you're asking to be your friend. And you got to pay attention to people. Don't just assume like because they cool or y'all a good time together that they're going to understand things that affect you, hurt you, or bother you. Like, that's learned. Like, Mars. I didn't know what bothered my best friend until it bothered my best friend. And then she told me. And in the space of her telling me, it was one of those things where, okay, so that bothers you. Now I know. And we can do our own thing. This and the third. But did I know that these things bothered her before then? No. I appreciate everybody that joined this live. I have been making my rounds, trying to see what works the best. When is the best time to go live? All that good stuff. What I am going to do is something I haven't done yet. So there will be a part 2 to this conversation. Again, make sure if you made it this far, you subscribe to my YouTube channel at the Catherine William 1. And you also follow us on Instagram at in the chat with Cat, and that's in the chat WCat. And then also on cat_the stylist. And that's where we will go live at. Again, appreciate everybody for meeting me in the chat. We will talk again, probably sometime in the middle of this week. Like I said the last time, and we did. It's not going to be long, but we're going to have a short conversation once I get more details, because the Carmelo Anthony's trial is set to happen this entire week. And then we want to see just kind of what the follow-up is of the other kid. And also, to y'all, be safe. Be safe. That's all I feel like is necessary to say, and I think y'all get it. Be safe out there, y'all. Be safe. So, see y'all later in the chat.